The following program is rated TVMA. What you are about to watch contains explicit language, adult themes, violence, and may not be suitable for viewers under 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Alright. Well, that was nice being muted for the first fucking full minute of me talking. I was inviting everybody to watch the opening credits. And let's see here. All right. Oh, okay. Well, that sounds good. All right, so tonight, I'm drinking Jim Beam apple and Fireball. So, a little something I call what the hell is it? Cinnamon apple. I like cinnamon apple. Ah, man. All right. All right. Let's jump into this. Let's see here. Okay, first of all, let's get the business out of the way. Okay. Welcome to What the NutZ, the podcast that explores the strange and mysterious and unexplained. Join us as we delve into the unknown and bring light to the bizarre stories and phenomena that leave us scratching our heads in disbelief. From Florida man to ghost sightings, from psychic abilities to UFO encounters, we cover it all. Each episode will bring you thought-provoking discussion and intriguing insights into the mysteries that surround us. So buckle up and get ready to take a wild ride into the unknown with What the NutZ. What the NutZ? And if you don't know what the NutZ is, if you don't know what it means, what's happening, thank you. What the NutZ is kind of like, it's the nice way of saying I'm trying to clean up my act and not use so much profanities. However, I'm human. I make mistakes. I throw the profanities around a lot. Like any blue collar guy. I throw around the profanities. Anyways. Why? That's not what I fucking wrote. Okay. Of course, that's not a fucking word. Are you serious? All right, so let's jump right into this. Now, if I can fucking figure out. There we go. All right, I have notes here somewheres. This is a brief history. Okay, so the Stanley Hotel was built in 1909. Okay, so that's the brief history. It was built by a man named Freeland Oscar Stanley. He was an inventor and an entrepreneur. He was the one that invented the Stanley steamer, the car that was a steam-powered car. Because at that time, in the early 1900s, like that, there were, steam powered cars, there were gasoline powered cars, and there were even electric powered cars, but they didn't catch on because they didn't have uh the distance, because like if you've got gasoline, you can go pretty far with gasoline. If you've got steam, and as long as you've got a fire, you can go pretty far with that too. Um, they from what I researched about the battery powered cars in the 1900s is they were straight booty compared to what we have today. Mm. Mm. Ah, that got me off guard. Anyhow, okay, so this man was this Freeland Oscar Stanley. Jesus, it's all stuck in my mustache. I need to shave that sucker off so it doesn't start eating all my stuff. Anyways, or dripping down my face. So, I believe Stanley Steamer, the Stanley Motor Carriage Company was one of the companies that he had started, and so he was that's where he made most of his money at the time was inventing these steam powered cars. The Stanley Steamer um, is what they were referred to as. Uh, so what happened was that uh, Freeland, right now at that time, you know, medical and anything to do with your health, any health care was wasn't what it is today, right? Um, Healthcare, they basically. Hold on, I forgot to do something, and I know there's gonna be somebody. There we go. Fucking, I gotta put the on air sign on, otherwise people will come running through the fucking house going, you know, with all disregard, even though they've been told. Uh, I forgot where I was. Anyway, so healthcare at that time wasn't that great, right? And so uh, Stanley Freeland Stanley grew up. Let's see, where did he grow up? It was Maine, I believe. I believe he grew up in Maine on the East Coast. Um, yeah. Uh, so he had that Maine accent. Um, it wasn't until um, let's see here. Okay, so he was. I don't have an exact. I don't have an exact time, but he while he was living in Maine, he came down with tuberculosis. Okay, and that was rampant at the time. We didn't, they didn't have like antibiotics and all that stuff to fight off the tuberculosis. So what doctors would do would be recommend them to go to um higher elevation places. So, like, for instance, um, Colorado, right, is high above sea level, right? So, so they would send them. They would send these people, like they would encourage them. They would encourage them. The doctors at the time would be like, you should really think about relocating to somewhere like Colorado because the air is so thin and it'll be easier for you to breathe. Um, uh, Basically, what it boils down to is that the Rocky Mountains, being that they're so high above sea level, and being that the the air being so thin was actually good for the tuberculosis, or they were called lungers, um, because they had a lung infection. Let's see here. Okay, so he traveled to Denver, um, in March, and in June on the recommend. Okay, so he traveled to Denver, um, at the recommendation of a doctor in Maine, right? And he knew of a doctor in Denver, I believe it was Denver, in Colorado, that that he had uh was familiar with. So he went and saw this doctor, and the doctor recommended. Uh, the doctor's name was Sherman Grant Bonney. So Sherman recommended to Freeland that he should move to Estes Park, Colorado, for the rest of the summer, because uh, over the summer, Stanley's health improved while he was living up there, so it wasn't as bad. Impressed. So he fell in love with Estes Park. Now at that time, Estes Park was just like it was like a few buildings. It wasn't even like a full on town. If I from what I saw in in some of the early pictures, because they had photography. One thing that he did invent was a camera. Um, they called it I can't remember what it was called, but he invented a camera that was more compact than the cameras that they were using at the time. Now I picture this. You've got this huge camera, like this, right? And it's on a tripod, and it's taking pictures, but if you want to flash, you have to set off some gunpowder or something along those lines, uh, to get the proper lighting. So he was instrumental in um, inventing another camera that uh, was a lot smaller. Um, let's see. I know my head is so full of empty facts. So Estes Park, Colorado. Estes Park, Colorado. So it's believed that Estes Park, um, was sacred native land, if I remember correctly. Um, Estes Park, the valley. Oh shit! What's the valley? The valley was called something. Oh, he was from Massachusetts, I think. Mm, Okay. Okay. All right. So according to what I researched, the valley was used by the Native American tribes as a hunting ground. Um, let's see here. Let me fucking do something. I'm gonna look something up on my phone. Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's do this. There we go. Let's see here. I don't think this is it. Okay. All right. I wanted to at least of course. Of course. That's not what I wanted, but okay, that'll work. That will work. All right. So basically you have, let's see. I need to put this. There we go, like that. And I need this over there. Put that right there like that. Actually, I don't really need that, do I? All right. This I could do like that. There we go. All right, I'm trying to get stuff here. I was running a little late here. Okay, so Stanley all but recovered living in Colorado. Um so he actually lived a long life. He lived until he was 91. He ended up dying in Newton, Massachusetts. Let me see something here. Does this say where he was born? Okay. Okay. No, it does not. Where was you born at? Yeah, he was Maine. I had it right. I'm freaking dumb. All right, so um ah, sorry about that. So he had completely recovered, and so here's what happened. So he was living near Estes Park, and there was a law on the books, and I believe it's still the law today. I'm not certain, but um if you were not American, you could not own land in America. I don't know. I believe that's true now. Uh I'm not certain. Um but there was a gentleman. Okay, so in 1908, the 4th Earl of Dunraven and Mount Earl um he acquired most of the valley. Like he how can how did they explain it? It was like, okay, so he um he ended up they purchased like he ended up hiring a bunch of people, like hundreds of people, and they um what was it? Oh, that's what it was. You couldn't, if you weren't an American citizen, you couldn't do any of the uh, what the hell is it called? The homestead. You couldn't homestead. So you couldn't go out and plot a piece of land and go, okay, this is where I'm going to homestead and whatnot, right? So he found a way around it, right? He hired a bunch of people and he said, look, file claims, right? File claims uh on the on the land. I want all of this land. So you guys all file claims, right? And he got in total he was able to claim 15,000 acres of the Estes Valley. Now he was trying to do it to create his own hunting preserve. Unfortunately, that backfired in his face. Because everything that this Earl of Dunraven was trying to do, all the farmers and the ranchers in the area were like, "Yeah, no, we're not doing that." Uh, then he decided to build a hotel. All right, wait. The largest, relegating the ranch to management of an overseer. Dunraven's presence in Colorado was parodied in Charles King novel. The main hotel. Okay, so this is really freaking. The history is it's kind of shoddy. The history that I'm seeing here, uh, like I I don't know. Anyways, so this Earl of Dunraven, he went belly up. Basically, he couldn't do anything with the land, and there was a let's see here. Mm. Okay, so okay. A lot of this in here doesn't make any sense to me, anyways. Let's see here. Um, anyways, okay, so let's just jump ahead because this is just one of those things, just one of those things. All right, here we go. I like how that's not working. It's great. It's lovely. I love how stuff doesn't work when I need it to. All right, so basically, Freeland bought the property, bought the failed property from the Earl, and he decided he was going to build a hotel, and of course that venture failed. Okay, so he failed. because he built the hotel, and okay, it was completed in 1909, and the manor in 1910. Uh, okay, so what Stanley had done was he had built these steam powered vehicles. So apparently the hotel was so far away uh, from the train depot that's how he shuttled people from the train depot uh, to his hotel. Now, one thing I didn't mention is that the Estes Park, Estes Park, is not open year round. So you've got some people that live there year round, and other people that don't live there year round. Or, but it's a seasonal place. So like the hotel may be open all year long, but it's seasonal. People only go up there in the summertime because in the wintertime there's so much snow. Uh, being that I've been to Colorado, there it snows a lot there. Um, okay, in 1911, all right, this was a year after it was built. The hotel was alleged to be one of the few world powered entirely by electricity. However, lack of available power induced the installation of auxiliary gas lighting system in June of 1911. So like he built he built the hotel, he built the home, the manor, and then he built a power station, a hydroelectric power station. So it was the first one of its kind, and in 1911, like they're saying here, they had like the power station didn't wasn't at that time, it wasn't as uh, reliable as it is now. So um, okay, so there was an explosion. It was the day after they filled the pipes with gas. Um, hmm. So, but only 10% of the hotel was blown up. Um, so let's move on. Let's see here. Architecture, the main building, the concert hall. So the history, just the history alone on the Stanley Hotel is amazing. Um, Freeland, Freeland, who he played what was it, the violin, I believe. He played the violin, and he he built a concert hall in the hotel. So that, and there was nightly concerts. I want to say nightly. I believe it was nightly concerts. Might have been weekly. Concert hall was built in 1909. Okay. Huh. At one time, it had a bowling alley in there. Okay, so basically, that's like the crib notes version of the history of the the Stanley Hotel. Okay. Now, here's how the Stanley Hotel got famous. Okay. In 1974, a well known writer spent the night there. Okay. Um, at the time of his visit, he was writing a book with the working title of Darkshine, set in an amusement park, but was not satisfied with the setting. Okay. Now, I know I haven't told you who it was yet, but you'll probably know who it was as soon as I mention the book. So, the gentleman that was writing that book, Darkshine, on the advisement of locals who suggested a resort hotel. Now, uh, this gentleman arrived at the Stanley Hotel on the last day of the season, and he was he stayed in room number 217. Um, okay. So if you don't know by now who the writer is, the writer was Stephen King, and he was working on uh, a book called The Shining, which was basically about a hotel. Um, okay, so they were so to set the scene. It was the last day of the season. They were already shutting everything down. Um, they had all the table, like him and his wife went to the dining room, and all the tables had the chairs up on them, like they were getting ready to leave for the season. um basically what Stephen King said in an interview later on in 1977. He said, I dreamed of my 3-year-old son running through the corridors, looking back over his shoulder, wide eyed, screaming. He was being chased by a fire hose. I woke up with a tremendous jerk, sweating all over, within an inch of falling out of bed. I got up, lit a cigarette, sat in a chair looking out the window at the Rockies. And by the time the cigarette was done, I had the bones of The Shining firmly set in my mind. So with Stephen King writing The Shining about the hotel, that's what made the location so well known. Um, So, all right. So the hotel gained a reputation for being haunted because multiple paranormal instances have happened to people. Now, I watched a show about the hotel, like a documentary, and the current owner, I believe, it was the current owner because it was just um, released not too long ago. Said in the entire time that he's owned it, he's never experienced anything. Um, so I don't know. That kind of gives me a little bit of pause. Like, is this for real, or are they just riding the coattails of of being a paranormal hotel? You know, being a haunted hotel. Uh, One thing I did find out is this hotel, the Stanley Hotel, um, has been seen on Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures. As of right now, it offers a haunted ghost tour. Um, I don't know the prices or any of that. Um, there's also a guided tour, a night tour, and even a ghost hunting academy. So they're really playing this up with the ghost hunting aspect of it. And I believe because of the way The Shining was written, that could very well be what teleported this hotel into the mainstream media. I mean, I could be wrong. Let's see here. Ownership history. Here we go. All right, so Freeland owned it from 1908 to 1926. From 1926 to 1929, the Stanley Corporation owned it. From ni- So Freeland rebought it back in 1929. Then in 1930, Roe Emery, LaRoe William Emery, was an American businessman who owned many transportation companies and lodges and expanded tourism into the national parks. Roe Emery was known as the father of Colorado tourism. Then in 1946, Abil Management Company, later Abil Hotel Company, run by Maxwell Abel, a Chicago real estate investor. Mm. Huh. It shows that from 66 to 69, they're not sure. And they're not sure about this one either. That Okay, so the Stanley Properties Inc. Bought it in somewhere in between 66 and 69. And then Richard Holchek bought it in 69, and then they don't know how long he had it. And then Estes Park trustees had it until 74. And then 74 to 99 was Frank Normal. And then 95 to present was the Grand Heritage Hotel Group. So it's changed hand a few times. That's for sure. Let's see here. Okay. Those are the references. All right. So I know I didn't cover how many rooms there are. There are several rooms. Um, it is in the National Registry of Historic Places. It's been there since 1984. Let's see. It's a pretty big hotel, if I remember correctly. The hotel is like, let's see here. Architecture. I freaking. I hate it when I can't find something I'm looking for. It sucks. Anyways, it's a rather large hotel. Okay, so let's do this. Let's jump over here real quick. So, go ahead and show you guys this. And so this is the actual Stanley website. I'm just gonna show you the picture because I thought this was the best picture that I found on the internet of the Stanley Hotel. This is the main building right here that you see. Um, let's see. I'll see if I can't find you guys something else. See, that's the inside. There's how it looked way back in the day. Let me see something. Let's see. No, I don't want to do that. Hate that. Okay. I don't want to do that. So, the Shining Tour. So it's actually got like I don't know, like a bunch of different, um, things you can do there. Like, let's see, some of the things that. Oh, here we go. Here's where. Here we go. How many rooms? Of course, it doesn't say. Ghost Hunters. Okay, so here's the spirited rooms. Here we go. I found the ones. All right, so you got room 217. It's the Stephen King suite. The Ghost Hunters' favorite room was 401, as well as 407 and 428. These are among the most requested rooms available. Availability is limited. You got the Presidential Cottage. You It's like four different buildings. Jesus Christ. I didn't realize it was so huge. I mean, it covers a lot of acres. So, I mean, what can I say? Uh let's look at. So there's a séance going on. That happens. Uh it's a theatrical. Seating is exclusive. Uh, it's limited. So it looks to me like they're doing uh at at the end of May, they're doing a bunch, and then all of June, they're doing all of June, all of July, all of July, all of August. Oh wow, are they doing this year round now? What the heck? Looks to me like okay. So everybody works until October. They do it until October 31st, and in November, looks to me like it's done. It's over. Um, let's see here. Spirited tours. Here we go. Spirited tours. Um, so they require advanced reservation. It's $30 a person. So if you tours will never go into guest rooms. So and the tour will never go on the guest floors. So you're not ever going to so none of these tours are ever going to go into any of the haunted rooms. So that's good to know. That's good to know. And then there's contact information. I'll put contact information in the description after I post this for viewing later. Let's see here. Hotel tours, King's Cottage, historic tour. Let's see what the Shining tour is. Okay, wheelchair access not available. Advanced reservations are recommended. Let's see here. An hour long theatrical tour experience at the Stanley Hotel. Okay, so basically this is the cottage, the caretaker's cottage. Kind of like how The Shining is about the cottage. Making the most of your visit. Okay. All right. That's about that. That's about something else. That has nothing. King's Cottage. All right. So with that, okay. Let's. I think with that, there's a lot. There's a lot more that I would want to look into. Like I only looked at a few things. I looked at I looked at a couple of um, documentaries. I fucking drawing a blank there. Um, they were one was a PBS documentary, and the other one was a YouTuber who had done a similar. But he was there. He actually went to the hotel. I am unable to travel at this time. I mean, I'm not unable to travel, but I don't know about going to Colorado. It's not that far from where I live. It's just the taking time off from work and whatnot. Um, would I love to do that? Sure. Actually, there's a few places in Kansas I want to go check out that are supposedly haunted. All right. Now, my haunted experiences are quite limited. And I say that being that I'm a skeptic, okay? I'm a real big skeptic, but I've had enough things happen that are unexplainable that I keep an open mind. I've been touched. I have had stuff whispered in my ear and was so scared I freaking turned around. I thought somebody was there and there was nobody there. So I've had a few instances. Now I know some people who are probably watching who never make it this far in the video. That's fine. That's fine. Those of you that have, you understand. I am a true skeptic. And I think I approach everything in the way that I think everybody should. I think that if I was so dead set, this is real, no, I think everything should be taken with a grain of salt. You know, I think what is real for me or what is my experience is different from someone else's paranormal experience. And I think with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring this podcast to a close. You guys keep in mind each week, Fridays, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're live right here on the YouTube channel. We're on the YouTube channel, the Blue Collar Joe. I'm your host, Blue Collar Joe. Thank you for watching. And we're out. Like a fart in the wind.
You've been looking for me, bitch. Here I go. I heard you've been looking for me, bitch. Here I go. I hear that you're looking for me, bitch. Here I go.